Hi everyone, this is Jenny from Oak Orchard Health WIC. Thank you for joining us again on our infant care mini series. Today's mini series is going to be all about breast milk storage, okay? So if you're breastfeeding and you're going back to work and you're probably considering a little bit more flexibility with your schedule, and you might be thinking it's time to use a breast pump. So that's awesome, and WIC is definitely here to help and support. We have a wonderful loaner breast pump program also, so don't hesitate to give our offices a call and we can definitely get you set up with one of those. So once you want to start to pump, consider how to safely store that expressed milk because think of the time that you're investing in all of the wonderful things that you're doing for your baby to express milk, especially when you're away from each other. It's absolutely priceless. First thing you want to do is wash your hands before you're handling any of the express milk or any of your pumping supplies. Okay, so that's super important. You can express milk through hand expression, as in this picture here. And if you need help with hand expression, we can definitely help you right here at WIC. Our peer counselors are awesome. They can help you with that as well. Or you could use a breast pump to express milk. If you have a breast pump and maybe you got it from your sister or you had it from a last baby, let's get you something that's going to effectively move and transfer that milk. So that is super duper important that you have something that is effective. And we can test our hospital grade pumps and make sure that they are working at full capacity. So super important to make sure that whatever product and brand you're using is effective in milk transfer. Okay, there are breast pumps out at the stores that you can buy that cost a lot of money and are not always as effective as what we can supply you. And there's also great pumps that insurance companies can provide, but it's not the same as a hospital grade pump. So typically we're going to issue a hospital grade pump for new moms that are really trying to build up that milk supply. If for some reason there's a low supply, it'll help to boost that. But in cases like going back to work for the first time, and we really want to amp up that supply so you have some on reserve for baby, hospital grade breast pumps are fantastic. So absolutely, we love for you to be part of our program for our breast pumps. Okay, so just a little side note on there on what we provide and what we do. So let's get back to it. Depending on how you store your milk, you can use waterproof labels and ink to label your containers. You can absolutely store milk initially in the fridge for earlier use. You can also deep freeze milk in bags that are used for freezing milk. So you're not going to want to use your over-the-counter zip bags. You want to make sure that you're expressing milk and you're storing milk in proper containers that are made for milk. And guess what? Us at WIC, we can help you with those bags too. We have tons of storage bags that we would love to get into the hands of our breastfeeding mamas. So don't hesitate to reach out. We can absolutely get you the supplies that you need. And we also have breast pads too. So we do a lot of really awesome stuff to support our breastfeeding mamas, okay? Important things here. If you are storing breast milk, and we're going to look at this a little bit deeper in just my next clip over, and believe it or not, we're almost finished talking for today. You want your expressed milk, if you're freezing or refrigerating, to be at the furthest back part of your refrigerator, your freezer. It seems so handy to have breast milk stored on the side of our refrigerators where we keep our condiments, or the side of our freezer where I keep all of the popsicles. But breast milk needs to be in the furthest back because that's where it's going to maintain that nice cold temperature. Okay, so you're going to want to store it as far as back where the temperature is the coolest. Okay. So I'm going to look next at some of our temperature guidelines, and these come right from the CDC, and we have this copy right here at WIC. So I love to also share with you the human milk storage guidelines. If you don't have this and you don't have access to the internet or the ability to print this, we'd love to get you one in your hands, so contact our office and we can absolutely mail you out the human milk storage guidelines. I'm just going to go through this real quick with you so you know how to read it. And then if you have any questions, please reach out to us right at the office. I'll give you our phone number again if you don't have it. So type of breast milk. So we have countertop breast milk, okay? We have refrigerated breast milk, freezer breast milk. So let's take a look at the countertop breast milk first. Ideally, you definitely want it at 77 degrees Fahrenheit or cooler. So that's going to be about your room temperature, okay? If you just pumped this milk was just fresh from you, that can last on the countertop for 4 hours, okay? This 4 hours does not include a baby taking from this bottle and then you setting it down and setting it on the counter for 4 hours. This is freshly expressed milk that hasn't been consumed or touched by a baby yet, okay? So 4 hours, that can sit out in a container, covered bottle. Make sure that those nipples on those bottles are covered, especially right now with flu season and coronavirus. You want to keep that nipple as sterile as possible, okay? So 4 hours freshly. Let's talk about thawed. That means it was previously frozen on the countertop. So you grabbed it out of the freezer and you set it in a bowl of cold water to start to defrost, or just had it out to start to defrost, okay? That can be on the countertop for 1 to 2 hours. So it was thawed out, and you can keep that on the countertop for 1 to 2 hours, okay? From freshly expressed or countertop, all milk left over from a feeding that baby did not finish in that bottle, you have to use within 2 hours after that baby. You can use within 2 hours. Anything after 2 hours after the baby has begun to consume that has to be discarded. So you have to, unfortunately, pour it down the drain. And it took us so long to get that. So really kind of get an eye and a gauge on the amount that your baby is taking in. So a lot of that hard work and dedication from you doesn't go down the drain. Okay, let's take a look at refrigerator. So this is breast milk that was expressed and then placed in the refrigerator in this case. Okay, so freshly expressed or pumped, and then you place that milk in the refrigerator. Because you might have a sitter coming over later, you might have, these are bottles that are going to daycare the next day, okay? Whatever, you're not ready to freeze them in that aspect, okay? You're going to use them soon. So freshly expressed or pumped that's been refrigerated and not yet, if it's being stored in a bottle, the baby is not yet consumed out of that bottle, that freshly expressed or pumped refrigerated milk can stay in your refrigerator for 4 days. Now remember, like I said before, keep that far back in the fridge as you can to maintain that coldest temperature. Okay, let's talk about refrigerator from a previously frozen milk and then it was thawed, okay? So that previously frozen milk from the freezer and thawed out can stay in the refrigerator up to 1 day or 24 hours. Okay, so that's important also. Same guidelines, left over from a feeding, baby didn't finish. It's got to be used up within 2 hours after baby is finished with that feed, okay? And then if any longer than any of these hours, that bacteria starts to grow, and that's when just yuckies can start to happen, and we don't want to have thrush or infection or any of those types of things that these little bacteria can start to grow. We don't want that. So these are recommended from CDC. Awesome recommendations. These are the ones you want to follow. Let's talk about the freezer now. We want that freezer temp to be at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or colder, okay? This is a little bit different. You can keep that freshly expressed pump, so you just fed baby, then you hand expressed or used an electric pump and pumped milk. You can toss that in the freezer in one of those nice breast milk freezer grade bags. Furthest back in your freezer, up to 6 months. 12 months is acceptable. I'm going to say 12 months is acceptable if you have one of those chest freezers that's not part of your refrigerator combo, if that makes sense. Also, this should really be saved for another video, but I think that it's worth mentioning. 12 months, if you're pumping milk and you have a newborn right now, so let's say the baby's like 8 weeks old, so baby's like 2 months old, and you have a great stock and a supply, and you're saving milk, and you have your 1-year-old that's now drinking that milk back when she was 2 months old, our breast milk changes. Our breasts are absolutely fantastic and crazy in every way. Breast milk changes to the baby's needs. So I want you to be thinking about that. As baby grows and changes, our breast milk also grows and changes to adapt to meet the needs of that baby. So that 12-month breast milk that you're producing for your 12-month-old baby is a lot different than that 2-month breast milk that you made for your 2-month-old baby during that time. So just food for thought there. It's just something to think about, okay? So again, freezer milk, freshly expressed and pumped, you want it to the furthest back. 6 months is acceptable. 6 months is best. 12 months is acceptable. I would say 12 month if you have it in a deep chest freezer way down at the bottom, okay? Thawed, it was already frozen. Think like chicken. You don't want to thaw out chicken and then refreeze it again. Same as breast milk. You never want to refreeze human milk after it's been thawed, okay? And again, freezer milk that has been left over from a feeding, you want to use that within 2 hours when the baby is done with that bottle, okay? And then discard that. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I definitely appreciate you listening in to me with our infant care series, and I hope that it's beneficial and helpful for you. If you have questions on breast milk storage and safety, please reach out to our offices and contact us. I do have a little picture here that shows washing all of those breast pump parts and bottles. We want to make sure those are clean and sanitized. Make sure that you wash that breast pump after each use. You do not need to wash the tubing, but all of those breast pump pieces that come in contact with you and breast milk need to be cleaned thoroughly after each use, okay? Again, to avoid that bacteria buildup, okay? Give us a call at our offices if you have any comments or questions about breast milk storage. You can reach us at 585-344-2203, okay? Thank you guys so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.